welcome back to Yoga with Cass. Today we are going to focus on some tips and tricks to get into your crow pose. So if you do have blocks at home, feel free to grab them. We will be using them. If you don't, I'll give you plenty of options also without your blocks. Let's get ready and set up in our tabletop position. All right, so from here, let's make our way to tabletop, hands down, knees hip distance apart, and we'll just start to rock forward and back here. Inhale, shift the weight into the hands. Exhale, shift it back. Again, inhale forward. Exhale, shift it back. Just getting used to weight bearing within the hands, spreading those fingers wide. Inhale forward. Exhale to shift it back. And then making your way back to neutral. Let's spin the fingers out to the side edges of your mat. And we're going to shift right and left. Inhale over to the right. Exhale over to the left. And just continue side to side, keeping the belly engaged. One more time. And then making your way back through center, we're going to spin those fingers back, facing the knees, as long as that feels okay for the wrists. Again, shift forward and back here. Inhale forward. Exhale, shifting back. Keep the heels of the hands down onto the ground. Inhale forward. Exhale back. One more. And then making your way back forward, spinning the fingers to the front of the mat. And then from here, we're going to grab our blocks. So bringing your blocks forward, about shoulder distance apart. And we're going to take them on height level 2. So just like I have them right here. Hands are going to come right behind the blocks, fingers spreading wide. Shift your knees back slightly so we're in a low plank, a little modified plank position here. On your inhale, we're going to shift forward. On your exhale, Chaturanga, halfway lower, look forward. Your shoulders are going to land on the blocks. Inhale, press back up. And then on your exhale, shift it back to a child's pose. So we're taking a little supported Chaturanga there. Just noticing that height and noticing the work in the arms. Again, inhale forward, low plank. On your exhale, lower down, Chaturanga, shoulders to the blocks. Inhale, pressing back up, use your tricep strength. Exhale, shift back. One more time, inhale forward. And just taking a moment here to rest the shoulders, release any tension within the wrists. And the next inhale, we'll make our way back forward into your low plank position once more. This time, move the blocks off to the side so they're out of the way. Coming back into your low plank shape, lean forward, core is engaged. Arms are going to stay super straight this time. All we're going to do is lower the chest down. And then puff the upper back. So you're separating the shoulder blades, protracting the scapula. Again, retract the shoulder blades back, so squeezing them towards one another. And then puffing the upper back like a little cat spine. Twice more, drop the chest. Lifting back up. Last one. And then from here, shift the hips back, coming into your child's pose once more, bending the elbows and just roll out the wrists for a moment. Taking the wrist circles in the opposite direction. And then reaching your hands forward. Inhale to make your way into a tabletop shape. Begin to tuck your toes under. And we're going to step left foot outside of left hand, right foot outside of right hand. Sit the hips nice and low, elbows inside those thighs. Taking the hands in prayer, coming into your malasana. So in that malasana, tailbone is pressing down to the ground, crown of the head is lifting up towards the ceiling, and continue to press the outer edges of your feet down into the ground. So you don't want those toes to roll in and knees roll in. We press everything out. Holding here for another inhale. Deep exhale. Once more, inhale. Exhale, release. Now keeping that elbow to inner thigh connection, from here we're just going to plant our hands down in front of us. I want you to lift the heels, bring the elbows in slightly and just shift your weight into the hands. Puff that upper back like we practiced before. Lower the heels down and hands come back into prayer. So again, just practicing weight bearing back and forth here. Inhale, hands down, hips up, look forward, squeeze the belly. Exhale to shift it back. And just try 2 more times at your own pace. All right, from here, the next variation we're gonna do is placing a block in front of us, and we're gonna take our head onto the block for this variation. So bring your block at height level 3, so that's the highest level. Make sure you have the correct spacing. You don't wanna bring it too close where your belly's gonna land on it. We wanna make sure we have enough space to rock forward. Hands are gonna come down onto the ground. Lift the hips a little higher for this one and tiptoe the feet in. So you actually have the feet in line with the wrists. Walk your hands a little further forward. You might need to readjust that block. You're shifting the weight into the hands, pressing down firmly through the finger pads, the knuckles, and the fingers. Lift your heels high. Bend the knees deeply, taking those knees to the triceps. Now shifting forward, Chaturanga arms. Place your forehead onto the block. This might be where you stay, or you can begin to pick up the right foot and then lower down. Maybe pick up the left foot, then lower down. And release your heels back to the mat. So you can just practice that a few more times. Once you're ready, inhale, lift. Exhale, shift forward. Puff the upper back, and maybe you're floating the feet, maybe not. And lower. And if this variation isn't working for you, if the block is way too high, you could always take it onto height level 2 as well and practice with that variation instead. That one I find works better for me just because I tend to lean forward a little bit more, so I find better balance that way. But again, figure out the one that works for you. Let's try it. Lift the hips high, knees to triceps, gazing forward. You can plant that forehead down onto the block and then float the feet up one at a time if you can. And slowly lower. Awesome, so just trying out whichever variation you need to, and then I'll take you through one more here. We're actually gonna grab both blocks, bringing them long ways on your mat, and you're gonna step the feet onto the blocks this time. So just plant the hands down, lift the hips, take one foot on the block, other foot on the block, make sure you have some space, deep bend into the knees. So we're kind of sitting here like a little frog. Hands plant down firmly, shift your weight forward, lift the hips. You're bringing knees to triceps, gaze forward, locks. You can hold right here, or maybe you float one foot. Maybe you float both. And then toes land back on the blocks, and we take a moment to reset. So again, just playing around here, do what you're comfortable with. Let's go for 2 more. And if you need a little break, just circle out those wrists, maybe bringing the fingers together, and just rock and roll side to side. And we'll finish off with our last one. Hands plant down when you're ready. Lift the hips nice and high, knees to triceps, gaze forward, puff the upper back. Maybe you're floating, maybe you hold. Use that core strength, puff the upper back. Hold for 3, 2, 1, lower the feet back down, and then just step off of your blocks, bringing the feet behind, drop the knees slightly, move the blocks off to the side, and we'll fully lower into a child's pose. Knees together, arms reach forward, forehead to mat. And just releasing any tension within that back body, let it all go. And then slowly on your next inhale, making your way back up through center and just coming to a comfortable kneeling position. Thank you guys so much for joining and watching my videos. Your continued support means so much to me. Thank you again. If you have any comments or questions, let me know in the comments below, and I will see you next time. Bye.